This is a Headgum podcast.
Hello and welcome to Perfect Person, the show where I'm perfect and you're a person. I'm sitting here across from Trevor Evarts.
Hello,
Thanks for coming on the show, man.
Thank you for having me.
This last week, I usually start with something perfect that I did.
Okay.
That's sort of like the base model. Because
Yeah.
the show's about learning.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you probably do a lot of perfect things, so it must be hard to pick, right?
Yeah. It's hard to pick like amongst all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like what's really good.
Yeah.
And what's just fine. But you know what it is.
What is
So
it?
I make coffee a lot at home.
Okay.
Kind of a coffee, part of my culture, part of my identity.
Yeah.
And I use distilled water.
Okay.
So basically, I found that my coffee was tasting bad and I didn't know why.
Okay.
And then I used some distilled water because my dad recommended it. And I found that it tasted pretty nice, actually.
Nice. It made it a little pure.
Yeah. I think it was maybe the LA chlorine in the water.
Yeah, the fluoride. All
The
that stuff.
fluoride.
The chemicals.
The good chemicals.
Turning the freaking
chemtrails.
frogs gay.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
sort of took out that chemical and I
Yeah.
added it back in after the coffee.
Yeah.
But no, it was really nice. It sort of changed the game for me.
Okay. All right. I'm a serial like Keurig K-cup enjoyer.
Sure.
Like
Yeah.
I have I find that like the coffee spectrum for me, I either want it just as shitty as possible,
Yeah.
like terrible,
You're right.
or really good. I hate just okay coffee.
You want like a fancy coffee that's expensive, or you want it to be utility coffee.
Yeah, utility coffee, or just like diner coffee that's like super watered down. Like I love that. Just to have like 8 cups.
Yeah.
It's great.
I think that coffee is turning a corner, or at least it is for me, where like different coffees serve different purposes. I love to make like a little pour over in my fancy little thing.
Yeah.
That's great. But I also love a diner coffee or like a
Yeah.
gas station coffee on a
Yes.
road trip.
Yes.
And it's like, this tastes like gas.
Yeah, this tastes like burnt dog shit.
Yeah.
But like I just need it inside my body.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Trevor, thanks for doing the show. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
You're sort of an internet digital boy.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah, you're kind of a Gen Z me at a different company.
Literally. I feel like I've just become the Gen Z consigliere for Rhett and Link.
Yeah.
Where like they hired me and they're like, what's that thing that young people do? Or this is like a young person thing. Trevor, what's this thing? Like, or Josh will just like walk into our office and be like, yeah, Trevor, what does Riz mean?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I got work to do. I don't know if I can explain it
And
right
just
now.
in case no one in the room knows what Riz is, just kind of
Yeah. So Riz is
Charisma.
Charisma. It's a shortened version of charisma.
cool.
Yeah. I'd say I'm a Riz god, I think.
You think you're Riz God?
Yeah, I'd say
Yeah,
so.
that's sick. Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
That's really sick. Yeah, so first of all, I wanted to just say, what is some advice? What's something you've been doing perfectly recently? What's a piece of advice you have for the audience? Because the audience is out there and they're floundering.
Yeah.
They're drowning. They're underwater. They're trying to figure out how to get it done.
Yeah.
And they're wondering if you, Trevor, have a special piece of advice that's going to change their life.
Well, it's hard to say because I think a lot like you. I do everything perfectly.
Sure.
And I'm trying to think recently in this week. One thing I don't do perfectly that I'm trying to work on is sleep. I'm really bad at that because what'll happen is I go to work and I get really tired from working all day, and then I get home and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get a good night's sleep.
Sure.
And then I play Valorant until 2 a.m. with my friends.
Yeah.
And then I go to bed and then I go to work and then I get home really tired. And then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get a good night's sleep.
That's not going to happen.
And then
Then you get a little stoned.
Yeah.
And then, I'm gonna play Valorant. Yeah. That cycle can be flawless though.
It's tough.
That feeling of being really tired and stoned and you run one more game of Valorant.
Yeah.
I've been there and it's heroin.
It is. It literally is. And it's like, I'm not even having fun.
No.
I'm just mad.
I'm just pissed.
I'm pissed off. I'm looking at the game and I'm like, God, this sucks. And I'm going to call up my friends. I'm like, we're doing another one, right?
Yeah.
And it's painful. So don't do that. But one thing I did do perfectly this week is I made tteokbokki.
Little rice cakes and sauce.
Yeah. So it's gochujang, gochugaru. If you don't have gochujang at home, it's Korean chili paste, and it is just one of the best tasting foods on the planet. And you can just add it to anything.
It's big.
So look up a recipe for tteokbokki. It's really easy to make and try it out.
Is it easy to make?
Yeah, it's literally, so I made rosé tteokbokki, which is basically you just add cream to the sauce to make it like creamier and a little less spicy. But it's literally just like a little bit of broth, gochujang, gochugaru, which is Korean chili flake, some soy sauce, some sugar. And you just add rice cakes and fish cakes to it.
I could not be hungrier.
Yeah.
At this moment that you're describing this to me.
Yeah, dude, it's like a 20-minute process and it's so delicious.
That sounds really fire. So I had a newborn at the beginning of January.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. So we've been eating like lots of, our friends had like a meal train. So they keep bringing us food.
Yeah.
And honestly, a lot of ramen and stuff like that.
Yeah.
No, as you said, tteokbokki. Tteokbokki. No tteokbokki, actually.
No tteokbokki.
No tteokbokki. But I did have it once at a street little vendor.
Yeah.
And I thought it was nice.
That's how it started. It's like a Korean street food. But then like it's one of my favorite, like just get really hammered in K-Town and then you put a plate of tteokbokki in front of me and I will eat until my shit is red. Like it's bad. I'll wake up. I'll wake up like the next morning from like a drunk night in K-Town and then I'm just like, holy shit, what did I do to my insides?
Yeah, really destroy your insides. I know I miss Korean barbecue. I haven't been back in a little bit.
Oh, I love Korean barbecue.
It's the fucking best.
It's just the greatest eating experience.
Yeah.
It's so good. Just have like 8 Korean beers and then just meat until you sweat.
Well, Trevor, the phones are ringing off the hook here.
Okay.
So obviously we have to go and we have to help these people that are calling in because they need help. What qualifies you as a perfect person here to help the folks that are calling in?
Well, you know, as a 23-year-old, I feel like I've lived a lot of life.
Huge.
I have a lot of wisdom.
Yeah.
I have a lot of intelligence.
Sure.
And really, I just think that I've never given anyone a piece of bad advice. I've never not told someone something that didn't enrich their life.
You've lived a life less traveled. You've sort of done everything that there is to do and you're ready to talk about it.
Yeah, I'd say so.
At the ripe age of 23.
Yeah.
How long have you been working for Red Link?
3 years. Yeah.
You've been working for them since you were 20?
Since I was 20.
How did you, that's crazy. That's really awesome.
Yeah, it was something like I was just fresh out of culinary school. I'd been working in like this bakery for about a year.
That's sick.
And I knew who Rhett and Link were. I used to watch them like back when I was in high school. And I think I just like a video like popped up on my YouTube recommended at like 3 a.m. one night. And I was like, I like these guys. I'll do a little throwback. And then I watched and I was like, they do a lot of food on the show. I was like, I'm sure they have like a food team. And I think they're based in LA. So I like went to their website and found their business email. I didn't know if they had any jobs open or anything. It was just like one of those things where I knew I wasn't going to be able to sleep until I did it. And so I just like sent me, I was like, hey, here's a little bit about me. My name's Trevor. Here's my resume. I don't know if you have any jobs, but let me know. And then like a month later, they're like, do you want to come in for an interview? And
that's so sick.
3 years later, here I am.
Yeah. Honestly, I actually know a lot of people that have gotten jobs that exact same way. They're just like find a business email and email your shit over.
Yeah.
And like oftentimes that's like enough.
Yeah. Shoot your shot.
Yeah. Well, as always, everybody, if you like the show, please like and subscribe. And if you love the show, please join us on Patreon where we have extended episodes of every single episode, including this one where we talked about being gamers.
Yes, we talked about being gamers, but also so many other things that are super important and really, I mean, just a lot of good life advice that you would never want to miss. So.
You said your PIN number to your credit cards.
Yeah, and my social security.
And your social, yeah. So go to the Patreon for Trevor's social. And as always, you can call into the show by following the Instagram account. And we post times on the story when we're going to have call-in sessions. Yeah. Trevor, let's get to the phone lines.
All right,
here.
I'm ready.
Hi, my name's Natalia, and I just need some advice because I'm 19, in my first year of university, but I'm worried that I peaked in middle school. Like, I'm just not sure anything's going to get better than that. I'm like, did I achieve, like, my greatest achievements in grade 8? So if you could call me back, that would be great. Thank you.
Trevor, how are you in middle school?
Oh, just the worst, the most awkward stage of my life.
Sure.
The first thing I thought when I heard that is nobody peaked in middle school.
Yeah. I think if you peaked in middle school, like you must be really fucked up now.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's possible. Like, I feel like for every person ever, that's just one of the most awkward stages of their life. And I think it's almost impossible to peak in middle school.
Yeah, like when I think about me, I was like on my tummy in the Barnes and Noble reading manga, like covered in acne with shoulder length hair.
Yeah.
And like that, if I peaked there, I would have really had to fall off the deep end.
Yeah.
In order to really do it. But let's give Natalia a call back here.
All right.
Hello?
Oh.
Natalia, you called in because you think you peaked in middle school.
Hi, OMG, I'm so excited.
Thank you so much for calling back. I'm here with Trevor Evarts.
Hi. Hello, Natalia. I wasn't ready to get teed up.
Now, Natalia, what's your problem and what's going on?
So I think I peaked in like grade 8. I'm in my first year of university. I'm a pre-pharmacy student.
Got it. Drug dealer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, future drug dealer.
Yeah.
But make it legal. So I think a lot of it has to do with, at the end of grade 8, I was diagnosed with cancer. And so my whole high school experience was messed up after that because I was going through treatment. But now I've been in remission for like 2 years, so I'm all good, thankfully. And yeah, so in middle school, I was kind of thriving. I was like getting the lead in all the plays and things.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, will I ever do anything as good as what I did in middle school?
Oh, wow.
Because like classes came easily.
Yeah.
I would like, it's just like school came easy. I was getting like top of my class in all the classes. And then now in university, it's like I'm barely passing.
I mean, the first thing off the bat that I think is you've already done something better than anything you did in middle school, which is beat cancer.
Yeah.
That's
you
amazing.
Conquered cancer.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal. That's like an unbelievably amazing thing that you've done.
Yeah.
So what were the roles that you got in middle school? No, I'm just kidding. That's not my first follow-up question. It is one of them, but it's definitely not the first.
Okay. In grade 6, I was Nala in The Lion King.
Sick. Yeah. That rocks. Okay. Awesome.
Then grade 7, I was Miss Hannigan in Annie.
Okay. Yeah.
And then in grade 8, I was Horton in Seussical.
Okay, so you were actually like a big theater star.
Yeah.
Now, well, first of all, I'm so like, congratulations on beating cancer. That's fucking amazing. And
Thank you.
The other thing I'll say is like, okay, so you're in university and you're worried that it's difficult in university for you now. And so you're worried that like, that means that because you're dealing with that now, school is not as easy as it was in middle school. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, well, first of all, school is easy in middle school because
it's middle school.
So they're like, okay, everybody, like, let's form a sentence. And then in the university, they're going to be like, all right, everybody, let's focus the fuck up. Like, we're talking about Nietzsche.
Yeah.
Or whoever the hell. But like, yeah, no, that's like, I wouldn't worry about. Were you popular in middle school?
Well, I grew up in a small town, so everyone knew each other.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And what are your worries that you have now? Because I feel like you have this this connection back to middle school, but I actually don't think we can't change your past. All we can change is your future. We can only guide you on the right path. So what are you struggling with in university?
Almost like not being recognized in a way. Like it's so competitive, my program, and it's like I know I'm probably not going to be the person getting 100%, 90% because it's just unrealistic for me.
Yeah.
So I think that's the problem.
Gotcha. Well, you know what I'll say is in pharmacists, it's actually more important that you have Riz. Am I right, Trevor?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So that's going to be better than if you can like put the pills in the right place.
Yeah. No, you don't have to worry about putting the pills in the bottle.
Don't even fucking worry about it.
You just got to worry about the Riz when you walk up to the counter and someone's like, I need my prescription for Lamictal. And you're like, oh, Lamictal. You're like, you got a little mood disorder, eh? I kind of like that.
Yeah. You're kind of being like, oh, okay, I see you. You're just like making people feel valid and stuff.
Okay.
I do have a question about pharmacy school. Do you have a class where you do the thing where you move the pills around on the thing?
Well, not yet, because I'm still in first year.
Okay. But there is a class
so I don't get to handle any drugs.
Oh, that's tough.
I know.
Yeah, interesting. Well, I also think that, like, look, worrying about being the top tippy top of your class, I get the competitive nature. Like, you're going to want to excel. You're going to want to get there. But you also have to remember that, like, in school, I remember, like, when I was young, somebody said this to me, and they were just like, we are not on an equal playing field ever. Like, you can work the same amount of hours as someone else, and they can have a way easier time or a way harder time. It's not about the amount of time you put in. We're just, like, not on even playing fields. Like, you could have a million things going on. And by the way, the person who's really, really excelling could be lacking in a million other areas of their lives because that's all they're focusing on. So it's like, if you only thing that's important to you is that you get 100% on a test, other shit's going to fall apart because you're only focusing on that one element. So I would say, like, put your work in, like, do the work and do the part, but also feel good for where you're at. As long as you're not failing and you're, like, succeeding, basically, you don't need to feel competitive with the top members of the class. Because, like, at the end of the day, you're going to be the best pharmacist this side of the freaking Mississippi.
Yeah. You already beat cancer.
That's right.
That qualified.
You already beat cancer. You. This is all extra cool shit. This is all, like, extra.
Yeah. Also, I feel like, college it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Like, you're in your first year. You got 3 whole years left, plus the rest of this year. I mean, as long as, you're putting in the work and you're taking care of yourself, and by the end of it, you don't have a 2.1 GPA. Oh, the light went out. Miles, as long as by the end of it, you haven't just failed everything you should. You can't see what's happening, but Miles is dancing right now in the room. Okay.
I've seen the podcast where the motion light goes off.
Yeah, no, he got it. I haven't.
It only takes one kick.
Anyway, I forgot what I was saying, but it was probably very wise and very helpful.
It was really good stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
But yeah, does this ring helpful? I mean, is it specifically schoolwork you're having trouble with, or just, like, you feel like other people are doing better than you and you're worried about that element?
Yeah, I think it's, like, other people.
Yeah, you got to keep your eyes on your page. Like, it's easy to get jealous of how other people are doing in class, but then you just got to remember that, like, you're the fucking realest one around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That, like, Johnny 100 over there getting 100% on the test, he's probably, like, pretty boring.
Yeah, he's probably kind of a fucking loser.
He's probably, like, a loser for real, though.
Yeah. Dude has no friends. He probably sits in his room and plays video games.
Yeah, dork alert, like, big time, for real. But anyway, Natalia, we hope this has been helpful because it's really been helpful for us.
Yeah.
Yes, it has. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. You have a fantastic evening.
Congratulations on the baby and everything.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. It's been crazy. I have not slept.
All right. Well, have a good day.
All right. Bye. Natalia. I know what you're thinking. You think that I'm cool and calm and collect at all times. Yeah. That's right. You think that I'm sort of a meditative god that has no worries or fears. And let me tell you, 90% of the time I am. But for the 10% of the time I'm not, I take ritual multivitamins to make sure I'm getting absolutely everything I need. Vitamin labels, they can be disappointing. You know what I'm saying? Misleading labels, questionable ingredients, sugary formulas. That's a hard pass from me. But then there's Ritual. Made for skeptics, by skeptics. With their multivitamin for women, what you see is what you get, and what you get is good, baby. Oh yeah. I've been taking the Ritual multivitamin for men for a while now, and honestly, it's that good. I know that I'm getting all the vitamins I need, and I don't really have to worry about it. I'm somebody who runs anxious, and this helps me not run as anxious. Ritual's got a chic little brand that's gonna make you say, oh man, am I being healthy? Or am I at a freaking fancy person store? They got one for women, they got one for men, with high quality and traceable key ingredients in clean bioavailable forms. With 9 key nutrients in 2 capsules per day, this unique beadlet in oil is even patented. It also looks really cool and kind of futuristic. It's also soy-free, gluten-free, vegan-friendly, and formulated without GMOs. There's no more shady business. Ritual's Essential for Women 18 and over is a multivitamin you can actually trust. Ritual's offering my listeners 10% off during your first 3 months. Visit ritual.com/perfectperson to start Ritual or add Essential for Women 18 and over to your subscription today. Were you a good student, Trevor?
I was until I got diagnosed with depression.
There you go. That'll put a damper on the school.
Yeah. No, I mean, I really was like sorry, I'm just taking off my crinkly jacket, my little windbreaker.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, yeah, I mean, I was a good student. I was like straight A's, like really like teacher's pet. And then junior year of high school, just everything came crashing down. Got like probably like a 2.5 GPA. I brought it back up senior year, but I also wasn't being kind to myself. Because I definitely, all of my best friends in school were extremely smart. Yeah. Like all really smart. And I always felt like I need to keep up with them. And I definitely probably wasn't as smart or I didn't put in as much work as they did. Yeah. I kind of was someone that coasted through. And then I started taking classes like AP Physics and just, you can't really coast through that one.
No, yeah. I remember they had to move me down from advanced physics to physics. Yeah. Because I was like, I can totally fucking do advanced physics. Like, everybody, check this out. Yeah. And then they were like, yeah, you're like holding the class back. Yeah. But it was because all my friends were really smart. I tell my wife this all the time, but like, she's always like, God, like everybody is selling shows and buying houses. And I was like, yeah, it's because you've chosen very, very successful friends. Like, you're attracted to these people that are successful and magnetic. And, you know, we can't just compare ourselves to those people. That's like totally not fair.
Yeah, no. I actually had a further fall from grace. Instead of getting dropped from AP Physics to regular physics, I dropped from AP Physics to what in our school was the equivalent of shop class. It was called Applied Sciences. So I went from like doing really complex physics formulas to like, hey, can you make a Rube Goldberg machine?
Honestly, though, that's fucking sick.
It was great. I think I got a D in that class too, though, because I never did anything.
To get a D in shop, Trevor, that's tough.
No, it's funny. I literally just didn't want to do any project. I was so checked out at that point, super depressed. And I was like, I don't want to build any of this shit. I actually convinced my teacher. We had to build like, you know, like the toothpick bridges. Yeah. Like the whatever balsa wood bridges and then like make them load bearing. Sure. I convinced my teacher to build mine with me. I was like, yo, Mr. Touchstone. I think that was his name.
Mr. Touchstone?
I think so.
Mr. Touchstone sounds like a Final Fantasy character.
Yeah, he probably was. I was like, yo, what if, hear me out, you and I did one together because I think that would be fun. Yeah. And he was like, okay, I'll do it with you. And then I did no work.
And your teacher did the class for you.
Whole thing. Yeah. And then at the end of it, he was like, yeah, you didn't really do anything, so I can't give you a good grade on this. And I was like, that's fair.
Like, that's fair, man. Yeah. I'm fucking going out hanging out with my buddies. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, it is funny. Like sometimes every once in a while I'll have like a flashback to being like, I don't think I did that assignment, or like a big assignment that I just remember like, I think I never turned that in, and I guess nothing happened. Like I'm still here and everything's fine.
Yeah. No, I just stopped turning things in, and I would like wait until a teacher was like, hey, are you going to turn that in? And then I was like, I don't know. Do you like want me to?
I don't fucking know. Like, what do you want from me, actually? Okay, here's a different one about somebody trying to fuck their mechanic.
Hi, Miles. I'm Jess. I'm 30. I'm pretty recently single. My boyfriend and I have about 2.5 years. Broke up in November, and I've spent most of my adult life in long-term relationships. I've never asked anyone out on a date, never asked for anyone's number, slid into anybody's DMs, nothing. And this wasn't really a problem until today when I went and got my shitty car's oil changed, and the manager and I were vibing. He was really cute, really sweet. I was making him laugh. He was giving me the eyes. We were getting along great. I checked his hand, no ring. And I wanted to ask for his number, and I chickened out and didn't. Now I drove away, and I'm back at my house, and I don't have a reason to get my oil changed for another 3 months. And can you help me shoot my shot? Is it too late? Did I fuck up because I missed my opportunity? And
and didn't ask in the moment? Or can you think of a way that I could maybe somehow go see if he was interested without seeming like a total creep? Thank you. Love the show. And congrats to you and Sarah.
Wow. A public ask out.
Yeah.
Have you ever asked somebody out in the wild?
Oh, God, have I?
Whoa, tell that story. Your eyes lit up.
No.
And then you decided maybe I can't tell that story.
No, I just forgot. Because like, here's the thing. I have actually like a really bad memory. Yeah. And I find myself often out in the wild pining, you know. It's like that thing where you're in a coffee shop, you lock eyes with a stranger, and then you immediately picture in your head how you fall in love and stay together forever.
Yeah.
I was in a coffee shop one time. And I was actually meeting a friend there. And it was very, okay, so this is why I take a second. I'm going to get through it as quick as possible.
Yeah.
I was meeting a friend there who I'd previously had like a fling with. Yeah. And then things ended pretty abruptly and badly. Yeah. And she had asked, hey, do you want to get coffee and like talk? And I was like, okay. So I went to get coffee with her. So I sat at a table with a girl for like an hour, whatever.
And I want to just say, if I was casting cool guys who were in a coffee shop, I'd cast you. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So when I first went in, I noticed the like person behind the counter, like the barista was really cute. And then I was like, okay, like, all right. So then I had this coffee. I sat down for an hour. I got up. When we got up to leave, I walked out the door and I was like, I really want to give her my number. And so I go back inside and I walk up to the counter and I basically was just like, hey, you're really cute. Can I get your number? And she gave it to me.
Incredible.
And I was like, awesome. This is great.
Yeah.
I texted her and it was a setup. Her boyfriend was in the coffee shop. He saw it all happen and he like texted me from her phone and was like, hey buddy, like this is her boyfriend talking.
Ew.
Like, fuck off.
That's crazy.
And
that's
I was
so crazy. Like, why?
I was like, just say no.
Yeah,
like, what is the ego of like, oh yeah, I'll give you my number and then like let my boyfriend text you from my phone. Like what, how small of a dick do you have to be like, yeah, this is her boyfriend.
That's
like
so
lay
weird.
off.
Yeah.
Like I was in a coffee shop and I asked a girl for a number and she gave it to me. Like, dude, how insecure are you in your masculinity that you have to text me from her phone?
Yeah, that's bizarre. Like, what is he looking for there?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I remember one time I was at a coffee shop. I used to be a barista in New York for a long time.
Yeah.
For like a couple of years. And I did a thing where I didn't give someone my number.
Yeah.
And instead of exchanging numbers, I just said, meet me at this place in a week. And it was fucking so good. It felt so good. And then it worked and we met up, but I was like, hey, like she might have been like, we should get coffee sometime or whatever. And I was like, yeah, that sounds great. But I'm not going to give you my number. Meet me on Thursday at this coffee shop at 1. And she was like, okay. And then I didn't have any interaction with her for another week.
Yeah.
But it was like, it kind of felt cooler than just being like, let's exchange numbers and like see what happens. It was like, no, we've got a firm date at a location. And it like was a rendezvous.
It was a rendezvous.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah, that's funny. I don't even, the guy in the coffee shop, he could have walked up to me when I was in there. Like if he saw me and was like watching this all go down, like she could have said, actually, like my boyfriend's here right now. Or if he was like a tough guy, like he was texting, like he could have walked up to me in the shop and been like, hey buddy, like.
But also like, who cares? Like what a weird, she could have just been like, oh, I have a boyfriend. That's nice. But like,
yeah, it was like definitely a thing where they're probably both like psychos.
Yeah. Cause I can't imagine like, I mean, obviously it's because I'm married and I have a baby, but like if someone was hitting on Sarah, I'd just be like, hey, I'm Miles. Like, nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like, why would I care?
Yeah.
I can't imagine caring.
No.
I just can't imagine because it's like, if you're so threatened by a total stranger stealing the heart of your lover, then like, how bad is that relationship?
Yeah,
that you're not going to like have some sort of edge on.
I might try the rendezvous thing though.
I think you should.
Yeah.
Yeah. The rendezvous thing is really nice.
Yeah. That's kind of genius.
Yeah.
That's like ominous almost.
Yeah, it just adds a little flavor.
Yeah.
Adds a little spice.
Yeah, a little spice.
We're going to meet. Meet me at the bridge at dawn.
3 a.m.
Yeah.
behind this alley.
3 a.m. behind the 7-Eleven.
Bring a knife.
Be there and bring a knife. I'm going to put you through a series of trials. Anyway, let's call this person back and help them fuck their mechanic.
Okay.
Hello?
Hello.
Oh.
You called because you want to bone your mechanic, and we are here to help you.
Oh my fucking God, Miles. Thank you so much. I need your help. What do you got for me?
Well, first of all, I'm here with Trevor Evarts.
Hello.
That's his catchphrase.
Oh,
Now, so we've heard your conundrum, and it sounds like you saw a mechanic. You said manager, but it was the manager of the oil change of the Jiffy Lube.
Yes, because my car is shitty, and I was
Awesome.
trying to be responsible and get my oil changed,
Yeah.
and then they changed the battery, and it started bouncing, and they had to call him from his lunch break. I already thought he was cute, and they had to call him from his lunch break, and he had to leave and come look at my bouncing car.
Incredible.
And so he's the manager, but that's how we ended up talking.
So you talked and you felt like there was flirtation there. I'm going to need a little bit of evidence on the flirting.
Okay, eye contact. He was looking at me a
Huge.
lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was making him laugh.
He loves you.
No, but I don't know because he.
This is the
Okay,
one for
so-
you. Don't let this person
Stop
slip
it.
through your fingers.
Stop it right now! No, don't put that much pressure on it, Miles. I haven't slid into
I'm sorry.
anyone's DMs. Don't make it seem like he's the love of my life. Jeez.
No, but I think
one
that
thing at a time.
I think you should live your life such that every person could be the love of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Look like when you asked Sarah if she's a little snack monkey or whatever, and then
That's
look how
right.
that worked out.
I did.
You're right.
I did
You're
meet my wife
right.
at a party at a snack table, and she was eating snacks, and I said, "You're a little snack monkey, aren't you?" Which is like a bad line, but it fucking worked. It worked so well. We had a baby.
W Riz.
Yeah, unbelievable Riz. But here's what I'll say. I think that, like, first of all, it sounds like the flirting is on. It sounds like you've got the flirting train covered, and you have a shitty car, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Definitely.
Sorry, that wasn't me casting judgment. You said that. You said that.
I'm 30 and it's my car from high school.
Oh, that rocks.
Okay.
Honestly, if I could have the car that I had in high school right now, I would. I miss it. There's a red Volvo station wagon. I miss her every day. But I do think that you should go back in, and you could go with under the guise of like, oh, like my windshield wiper is frozen.
There's so many things. No, okay.
Yeah.
Here, two really easy ones. Coolant, okay?
Huge.
Coolant.
Yeah.
Nobody ever gets their coolant changed, so you probably need a coolant change
Damn
anyway.
right. Yeah.
And then
You
literally,
don't think they checked that?
Yeah, but even if they
Don't they
did, you
check
could just be like,
everything?
hey, I'm so sorry. I wanted to what type of coolant did you use so I can know for next time?
yeah.
Yeah, I was just driving
Oh,
by.
you know what?
And you
Oh, they wanted me to change my air filter, and it
Yeah.
was out of stock.
damn
So
right.
I could go back
You
and
have
be
the
like,
in.
hey, I was wondering
Yeah.
if the air filter was back in stock.
Also, by the way, yeah, you can do all of this. You can jump through the hoops. You can
Yeah.
create like a big orchestration, or you could just go back and be like, hey, I'm so sorry I had to pull you off your lunch break last time. Can I buy you lunch tomorrow to make up for it?
Oh, that is W Riz. That is W Riz. Hold on. Scratch everything.
Scratch everything.
Scratch the fucking air filter. Scratch the coolant. Scratch the windshield wiper fluid.
Key your
That's the
car.
move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He did tell me what days he's off.
Oh my
Oh my
I
God.
feel like
He
that's
wants to bone
This
you.
is so on. I don't even know why you called.
I know, I was so mad at myself afterwards. There was like I thanked him at the end when he was finally walking away, and there's like extended eye contact, and I'm like, he's not going to ask me because he's a manager and I'm a customer right now. And like,
Yeah.
I don't know, he seemed really good at his job, and I was watching him all work when I first was playing and waiting, and I was like, before I even thought he was that cute, I was like, that guy's really good at his job, and he seems so caring with the customers. He seems like a good dude. Like, And then he was so nice to me, and I was like, I need to ask because he's not going to ask me because he's manager. And I was so close and I didn't. And I'm so mad at myself. Okay, but thank you for the validation because I really have very little experience with this. So I need somebody to gas me up and tell me that he was into it too. So I appreciate that.
I'd consider myself a flirting expert.
Yeah.
And Trevor, yourself?
100%. Yeah. No, there's so much electricity here that I'm starting to get horny.
You're getting some runoff.
Yeah, I'm getting some
aftershock horniness.
Some secondhand horniness here.
Secondhand horniness.
You're welcome.
I'm getting secondhand horny off of your story about this Jiffy Lube. Oh my God, that's funny. I think that, like, it seems totally on. But by the way, there's nothing better than a flirt in the wild like this.
Yeah.
Like, that is huge.
I know. I know, not like at a bar, like where you're like looking for it when it just happens. It was really nice. Even if nothing comes from it, it was really nice.
10 times out of 10, I'm taking flirting at a Jiffy Lube over flirting at a bar.
Yeah.
Flirting at a coffee shop or a Jiffy Lube or a bookstore or a fucking Barnes and Noble.
Airport flirt? Dude, airport flirting?
Enormous.
Crazy. Because you know you're never going to see that person again and you can just be insane.
And it's like, I like your shoes. And they're like, and it's like, ooh. And then you got to get on your flight.
Like, is that a tomb carry-on?
Is that nice rolly bag? That's awesome.
Are you in the B boarding group?
Is that an AirPods Max?
Let me buy you a $12 airport beer.
Let me buy you an AirPod Pro from the Hudson News. That's so funny. Yeah. But I just find that, flirting. Oh, man. Travel flirting is really a huge thing, though. Yeah. Anytime you're traveling through the airport or you're like at a fucking bus.
Yeah. Bus? I've never bus flirted.
Flirting on the bus? I mean, it's got to be very casual.
Yeah.
It's like sort of eye contact and then you look away so as to not look too weird.
Yeah. You've always got to be sitting. It's like they're on the opposite side of the bus from you.
Yeah.
And then you're opposite from them, but like 2 seats over. That's like the optimal position.
The optimal flirting position.
Because if you're straight across from them, you could pass off like occasional eye contact as, we're just across from each other. But if you're a couple seats away, then it's like, it's obviously intentional, but not in a weird, creepy way.
No, I would always be terrified. I'd be like, I'm making like gesture, pause for 10 minutes because I didn't want to go. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't want to come off like some creepy weirdo that's like making advances on the bus.
Yeah.
But I'd be like, because I took the bus a couple times in New York City because in order to get across town versus like up and down, you have to take the bus if you're near Central Park. And I used to live way uptown. So I would be like on the bus or whatever. And it's like, or subways too. But you have to be so careful because it's like, I definitely don't want to be a fucking weirdo on the subway. Yeah. So I'd like kind of be like, looking away for fully 20 minutes. like small
the occasional side eye,
like small little glance and pause, full freezing them out for a while. And then it's like, I'd look back and if they're still looking at me, that's great. And then I'd also do one where like, sometimes I kind of do like a flirty look. And then I'd be like, no, I'm actually just looking around. Like, you know, like kind of, my gaze is actually just floating around the room. Yeah. I'm not necessarily looking at any one particular person.
Yeah. That's a nice little handrail over there.
Yeah. Ooh, graffiti. That's fun. Anyway, I think you should go back to the mechanic and say that you should take him to lunch because that's how you're going to get it.
Yeah.
How many days do I wait to do that?
Go today.
Yeah.
Do I go back immediately?
Go back immediately because it's fresh on your mind. I was just driving by to go to Jimmy John's to pick up my sub.
Yeah.
But make sure you have a big backstory so he doesn't think you're lying. It was a tuna melt.
Yeah.
And I was going to get chips.
Yeah. I decided to opt out of the lettuce.
I didn't want which I know what you're thinking. The lettuce would get all hot on the tuna melt. And we don't want that.
Hot tuna. Tuna. These are great tips. You are the pro.
But I do think that, you should go back today or tomorrow just to make sure that, some other customer doesn't.
He knows I live across town. He knows it's like a 25, 30-minute drive.
Worth the drive.
That's intentionality.
We talked about it.
For love?
Yeah.
That is worth it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, you are
You're
gonna
right.
marry
You're
this person.
Plus, stable job. We're always going to need mechanics.
Damn right.
And he's a manager. He's probably got great health insurance. I'm sure that's unionized.
Hell yeah.
Like, that's a catch.
He's gonna be working at Jiffy corporate within the year.
Yeah.
So anyway, get out there, do some flirting, and go buy this guy lunch.
All right, will do. Thank you so much.
All
I
right.
really appreciate it.
You're amazing. Thanks for calling in.
Bye.
Bye. Wow.
Yeah.
Important call.
It's very important. I mean, it's like I heard the original message and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, it seems like there's some energy. And then every next detail, I'm like, holy shit. How did
so
you guys
on.
not fuck in the break room?
Yeah. Like it's
Yeah.
so, I think that oftentimes people will actually call in because they're just like, hey, am I misreading things? And it's like the most obvious, like, am I misreading things? He grabbed my hand and said, I love you.
Yeah.
Do you think we should go on a date? And it's like, yeah, like
maybe.
if you sense chemistry out in the wild,
Yeah.
you can press go.
Yeah, 100%.
You can press go. You can collect the 200. We got one more call here from someone.
Hi, Miles. I had just recently got together with my girlfriend, and I am 5 years younger than her, and I'm a little apprehensive of meeting her friends. I'm not like I don't want to. I'm just a little scared. I don't want to seem like a stupid, immature little kid. And yeah, I know I'm going to meet her friends soon. I'm going to have to. Any advice on that? How to seem cool, nice first impressions, all that fun stuff. Thanks, Miles.
Well, it's good that she called mostly the pretty much most mature guys ever.
Yeah. Very definitely the most mature guys ever.
How do you seem like a big adult? That is kind of impressive and cool, you know?
The only way that I know how to seem like an adult is from a purely business perspective. Like, okay, and to be clear, when I am
Have
on
a briefcase.
no, like really, it all just comes down to emails. Like I am capable of sending
Yeah.
the most professionally worded, like makes me sound like I'm like 45 years old in
Sure.
a corner office kind of email.
Yeah.
But everything else I do is completely childish.
Yeah.
Yeah, very juvenile.
Juvenile. Yeah. Honestly, I am not good at that. I feel like I'm constantly taking out my exclamation points from my emails.
Yeah.
I like have too many. And it's like, okay, I can't have an exclamation like, hi, Trevor, exclamation point. What's going on? I gotta like cut it out. Like it's too much.
I do that too. But if I get like a specific email that I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, I need to be professional. Like
All
I know
business.
the lingo.
Yeah.
Like I can put it in there. I'm like, well, like if we could circle back to this in the future, I think that would be beneficial to all parties involved, you know, kind
Whoa.
of stuff. Yeah.
You're dropping circle back?
Yeah, I'm dropping circle back, dude.
All right, let's give this person a call back.
Please leave your message.
Okay, well, this
Wow.
person didn't answer their phone.
They're on D&D. Maybe they're with the friends right now.
Yeah, they might be with their friends right now or with the girlfriend.
Or with the girlfriend.
And you know what I'll say? I'll give a quick hit advice.
I'm ready.
Okay, so I am 6 years younger than my wife.
Okay.
And so I met her older friends. When we met, I was 24
Yeah.
and she was 30.
Mhm.
And I was very intimidated. I was like, oh my gosh, like they're going to be older and whatever.
Yeah.
And the thing I've found is that after you're like 23, 24, age is just whatever.
Yeah.
It all, excuse me, my big burp. It all becomes the same thing. It's
Yeah.
like her friends like were also in industry too, especially when you're in like creative professions. It's
Yeah.
like everyone's kind of doing the same stuff.
Yeah.
And like the veil of emotional maturity is just like, oh, are you like present in conversations and able to like listen to
Yeah.
people and be empathetic? And like
Yeah.
that's really the only gauge of maturity that matters. And,
Yeah,
yeah.
I feel like it's not like as long as you are hanging around people that are cool, like if you're meeting someone's friends, like if they
Yeah.
have cool friends, the only thing that matters is if you're like, you know, just a little bit charming and kind.
Exactly.
Like you just have to be able to hold a conversation. It doesn't matter how stupid you are, because I'm extremely stupid and childish. And I meet people all the time that I would consider more mature.
Yeah,
but I've
sure.
never had a situation where people are like, God, that guy is so fucking annoying, or just I hate him. It's always just like,
Totally.
it's always a fun time. You know?
Yeah.
And I've made
Well,
a
I think
lot
it's
of friends.
like the bad thing to do would be to take a big swing.
Yeah.
Like to be like, blarm it, like trying to be super funny and
Yeah.
and like in a crazy way.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, just be kind of like a little more subdued. If you lean that way, but lean a little more subdued. If you lean
Yeah.
a little more subdued, try to even that out.
Yeah. Just like, don't be a shitty person.
Yeah. Don't be like shitty or like combative.
Yeah.
I find that sometimes I cannot stand this, but like sometimes people when they get nervous, they will compensate by being like combative.
Yeah, like antagonistic.
Yeah, and I'll be like, oh yeah, I like went and had this really nice like tomato sandwich or whatever, and they'll be like, oh, tomatoes.
I hate tomatoes.
And it's like, what's up? Like, what's going on? Why are we doing
just a sandwich?
Yeah, it's like this does not matter.
Yeah,
I don't know why we're talking about this. Yeah, but I think that that's generally the keys to being liked.
Yeah,
be agreeable.
Yeah,
I don't really have any opinions that I wouldn't go 180 on to make someone comfortable.
Yeah, no, I'm very agreeable.
Yeah,
I'm very like I will belly up, just fold
100%.
Especially if it's in a situation where like, because sometimes I'll meet someone and they're like an asshole, but like I do not want to get into it, and so it's like I'm just gonna like be quiet and just let you be a piece of shit, whatever, and I'm just gonna try and exist as far away from you as I can in the setting until I never have to see you again.
100%. I like that one's tough for me. When you encounter someone in the wild, it's just like, man, you suck so much.
Yeah, it's
hard for me, like on repeated offense, to not at least just give them what they're giving back to me.
Yeah,
I like, because it's just like, man, you're ruining the mood. Like, if someone's just really like, like being combative or just like being a contrarian for sort of seemingly no reason.
Yeah,
I can't handle that.
Yeah, I'm very thankful. I feel like most of like all of the friend like kind of circles that I have, like there's never been a situation where someone who's regularly a part of the group is just annoying as fuck, but they like are still a part of the group. Like I'm very thankful to have friends that are always very chill and like never run into any issues like that.
And you're sort of a cool Gen Z influencer, kind of going to Jake Paul's bat mitzvah.
Yeah, that's what I do on the weekends. He has a lot of them.
He's got one every weekend.
Yeah,
a lot of people don't know that. Well, Trevor, that leads us to our final segment of the show.
Okay,
a segment that we end every show with.
Okay.
A segment we like to call "Get Real." Not to be confused with the brand Be Real. I named it before the app came out.
Is it time to get real?
It's time to get real.
Okay.
This is a segment where we force a genuine moment in an effort to learn more about each other and ourselves.
Okay.
And we'll just sort of let the piano music flow.
Is this going to continue on the whole time?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I was waiting for you to click the button.
Nope.
No. Okay. Ooh,
it's on. And in fact, at one point, it's going to turn off, and I'm going to have to click it again. But I guess a question for you. So you're obviously you're sort of a cool young person in Hollyweird.
Yeah.
You know, getting out there.
Cool is a subjective term, but yeah.
You're wearing very cool clothes. You got a cool style.
Okay, all right.
You're kind of a cool guy, I think.
Thank you.
And I mean that genuinely. I'm not making fun of you. My question actually for you is there an event in your life that you feel like defines you as a person that you don't discuss very often? Or a moment that you feel like is something that's very important to you, that you hold close to, like that being an identity defining part of your existence?
Yeah, okay. Well, do I have like a second to think?
Yeah. Take a second.
All right. That's tough. The music is helping. An identity defining moment.
Sure.
There was, so I briefly mentioned it earlier.
Yeah.
About how I was depressed in high school.
Mm-hmm.
And when I had started to, well, I actually didn't really deal with it until like 4 months ago. I finally saw because I had like gone in and out of therapists, didn't ever really get better, wasn't taking steps, and I ended up seeing a psychiatrist and getting like fully like assessed and diagnosed and got put on a medication that's been like really working a lot and I've loved. So like literally over the last like 3 months, I have seen just the most drastic change I've ever seen in my mental health.
That's amazing.
Which is amazing. But back when I was in high school, when I was a junior, when all this started happening, I didn't know how to deal with it and I was immature. And I was, going through puberty, all that stuff. And I didn't want to admit that anything was wrong with me. And that just led to me being like a really shitty person.
Sure. Yeah.
Like I was just a dick to like all of my friends, and I was just like pushing people away. And I was like, no, nothing's wrong with me. Like I'm just tired, whatever. Like I'm fine. And there was kind of a moment, I would say, like sometime like during my senior year afterwards, where I realized how much of an asshole I was being.
Sure.
And I realized in that moment, I was like, I was being unkind to people, not because they deserved it or not because they'd done anything to me, but because of like something, like the things that I was feeling inside myself. And whatever feelings of like worthlessness or loneliness or not being loved, like all those feelings that I had inside me led me to outwardly just be unkind to people. And from that moment forward, I kind of just flipped this switch where I was like, I want to always be kind to people, and I want any interaction that I have with someone to make them feel like they're valued and loved, because you never know what someone's going through. You never know how someone could be feeling on a particular day. And until someone gives me a reason to not be like, until someone gives me enough reasons to be like, okay, you're just a piece of shit, like I don't care about you, I just always want to treat people like with kindness. And I've been like trying to do that ever since then, where like I just don't, I don't ever want to be a dick.
Yeah.
Like I've known a lot of dicks and assholes in my life, and like I know how that can make people feel. And I know from being in that place where I don't feel loved, like even just the smallest little thing can have the biggest effect. So whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. So just like having a very small, kind interaction, like that can mean the world to someone. And so I guess I just always want to be doing that. And so that's kind of like, that was like a defining moment for me, was just kind of that realization and that switch flipping.
I love that. That's a fantastic answer. I think that totally makes sense. I've said this before in the show. Our listeners to the show will know that my brother died when I was 17 years old. He was sick for a lot of high school. He had cancer from like my sophomore year of high school on through the end of high school. Yeah. And I totally relate to the idea of being like, I don't want to admit that something's wrong. And therefore I'm like taking out whatever feelings I'm having on other people. And I had a similar realization of just like, oh, like my realization was more just being like, okay, I'm having this huge problem that feels so global and so enormous. And when a friend is telling me that like they're upset because somebody doesn't have a crush on them, it was hard for me to relate. But then I think I did have a breakthrough just being like, no, like I can't be pitting this against that. Like that problem is big to that person. It doesn't matter if I have quote unquote a bigger problem. And I have to show empathy to those people because like that's what they're going through. And everyone has stuff. And I think that going through a big, grief experience made me feel more empathetic to everybody, not less. I think that's and it seems like you've done the same, where going through an experience of yourself that you had to have this kind of growth and this realization gave you more empathy than less. And I think that's really valuable.
Yeah, it definitely like taught me what empathy was and what it meant to be empathetic. And I'm very thankful for that. Because who knows how it would have turned out if I just became a douchebag.
Shadow Trevor.
Yeah. That'd have been rough.
But you know what I'll say is that I feel like actually you are in our, we haven't had that much communication between each other, but in your messages and stuff like that, you are a very gracious communicator.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. You're very like, hey, like great to see you. Or just, you are very like, you're giving and receiving positive vibes.
Oh, thank you. That's what I want. So it's good to have that affirmation. That I don't just come across as like, oh, this guy's gonna be a dick.
Oh, obviously you don't, but no. Well, anyway, Trevor, that's the show. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. This has just been the most fun. I mean, I'd be down if you want to just like run it for 6 more hours.
Yeah, we'll just kind of run.
Yeah, I could stick around. Yeah,
I love that. Do you have anything to plug? Where can people find you if they're interested in hearing more Trev?
Oh, yeah. Well, you can find me on socials at Trevor Evarts. It's just my name, no dashes or anything. And then I am also over on Mythical Kitchen on YouTube. I cook some silly food over there. And
silly food.
Also occasionally on GMM, but yeah, that's all the stuff. If you go to my socials, it's all in the bio and whatnot.
It's all in the bio.
Oh, also my Twitch. We were talking about streaming. Yeah, the Twitch is also Trevor Evarts. Yeah. So if you want to watch me be dumb and high on the internet live on air, Find me there.
It's a good stream title, honestly. Me, Dumb and High on the Internet Live. Well, everybody go follow Trevor or check out your stuff. And as always, remember that no matter what your struggles are, perfection is only a call away.
That was a Headgum podcast.